Hello, everyone. Good day to you. I trust you are all right. Welcome to day 9 of our HTML lecture. And today we're going to be looking at HTML forms. I hope you've been able to gain a lot from the past lectures we've had. And in our last lecture, we looked at container elements, which are the div aside. And then we also looked at page structural elements like the nav, the footer, the header, the main tag. So I wanted to go over all the lectures very well and practice, because practice makes perfect. So today we are going to look at HTML forms. So let's get straight to the point. So HTML forms are created using the form tag. Um, they are used to collect user input. It interacts with web pages or web apps. They contain a set of information to fill, just like our physical forms. Yeah, when you are given the form to fill, you're supposed to put the required information in it. So that's just the function of the form tag. So before submitting, either with the aid of a button or automatically on completion, it is created using the form tag. So we're gonna go. This is an example here. Form, then label, and so we're going to show these on our text editor, the Visual Studio Code. So let's go there. So go to our Visual Studio Code, and as we usually do, HTML, HTML5, and then we change this to lesson 9. And so here we paste this, and so we check it on the browser. So when we reload this, you see first name, last name, submit. So that's what the form does. So as you can see, because our input, we have first name, the label creates the first name, and the input text shows that box where you type in. And so for the last name, and the last is a button. As you've seen, or let me show it again, as you can see on the screen. So let's go further. So the method attribute specifies the HTTP method to use during form data submission. When submitting forms, it is imperative to use the post method with the attribute as we hide all sensitive information, while the get method displays all the information in the address field. Yeah. So when you are submitting, use the post method so that all the sensitive information will be hidden, because when you are when you are the when you use get method in your address field or the top of the at top of the web page, you discover that the information are displayed there. So that's why we use post method. The form is submitted to the same URL where it resides by default, which doesn't have any effect. For this form to submit its data, use the action attribute to specify the URL to which the browser will submit the form data. So as you can see in our example here, we use the action verify. So that's where the form is going to submit the data to. So hashtag slash verify HTML. We don't have that file, but that's just for when as an example. It's just to show how we use the action attribute. So it will submit the form data to that URL at URL that we have, the slash verify.html. So let's go forward. And we have form elements in the form tag. They include the field set tag, we have legend, we have input, we have select, we have text area, and we have button. So we're gonna be looking at all of them. So the first, the field set tag. So the field set used to group related elements in a form. It draws a box around the related elements. So yeah, let's demonstrate this. As you can see in our previous example, we just added the field set. We wrapped it around the form element. So the input and the label. So let's try that and let's see what it does. In our text editor with field sets. So okay, then bring all this up. So so when we view in our web page and we reload, you see what it does. It groups the whole form data together. So it draws a box, draws a box around the form element, the form data that we have there. So it's used to group related elements in a form. And then we can even and now even have you can even have different field sets in a form. For example, now let's say this is for my personal information, and then I want to create and down for let's say work information. So let's try that. So come here. Let me just copy this and paste it here. So now for workplace, and then this will be workplace, and then this will be role, and then this will be role. So now we have two field sets containing different information. So we go here to our web page, and then so you can see, so we can give styling as much as possible, but this just to show you how all this work. So we can style it any way we want to. So let's go forward, and the next one is the legend is used to group related elements in a form. It defines a caption for the field set element. So yeah, it's oh sorry, this is a mistake here. It, it defines a caption for the field set element. So this is not meant to be here. That's for the field set. So what the legend does is it defines a caption for the field set element. So legend, so this just give it a caption, a description. So let's go here. Let's go back to our text editor, the VS Code, and then legend with this personal information. And then let's give this one work information. So when we go back to our page and we reload, you see personal information there. You have work information. So that's what the legend does. It gives a caption, a description for the field set element. So I think we can move forward. So now we come to the input tag. This is perhaps the most important form element. It is the most widely used element due to its versatility in being displayed in a variety of ways depending on the type attribute. So that type attribute on the input tag is is a very awesome attribute in that you can display the inputs in variety of ways. Can in fact, we are going to be looking at them as we go on. So the default behavior is input type text as you've seen it here, and I think um it was also displayed in the example we showed here, input type text. So sorry about that, input type text. So that's what how the text that's the default behavior and defines a one-line text field. There needs to be a name attribute on all input fields to allow the content to be sent to the server when submitting. Otherwise, input content won't be sent. So input type text, then we have our name, which is first name. So as you can also see in our example here, so we have okay, there's just a label, there's no name. So let me give it a name here. Let's give it a perfect first name, and then yeah, we're gonna have name equal to that. So the way it was, the browser won't even submit it the way it was before we added this name attribute to it. So name workplace, and then the name of these will be oops, that's not where I'm supposed to put that. It's supposed to be the name is going to be the role. So there we have it. It doesn't change anything in the physical appearance of our inputs, but it means something to the browser. So the input content will be sent now. Before it wouldn't have been sent if we try to submit, but now it will be sent. Let me try submitting. There's no you can see it's as you can see what it does, it takes us to verify that HTML, but the file is not found, so I submitted the files to, so you can see. So that's what the post this thing, sorry. That's what the that's that's what the action attribute does. So submit and see verify. So that's the action. The action is taking us to, that means it's telling it to submit to this link as I explained earlier at verify.html. So let's go forward, and the placeholder attribute. The placeholder attribute has text showing temporarily when the field is empty, giving a hint to the user what to type into the input field. So yeah, here we have the placeholder. So let's add placeholder to all our inputs in our example. So yeah, we're gonna use placeholder, and that's going to be your first name. I don't want that suggestion. And here it's going to be, sorry, placeholder your last name. And this is a label. So input placeholder your workplace, and then here we can have a place. Oops, mistake. Place. Oh, down. This is gonna be your role. So that's basic. So as you can see what the placeholder does. I believe you must have seen this a lot in some forms where you see something and then when you click on it, it disappears because you're already typing something in. So that's the placeholder. Placeholder will give it just to direct it directs the users on what to give them better guidance on what to write in the input field. So it gives a hint to the user what to type into the input field. So it's temporarily showing text when the field is empty. But once you start typing, then it disappears because it's just a placeholder as it is not something permanent. So the value attribute is next. It enables inputs to have a predefined value and to be sent to the server on form submission if the user does not change it. If a placeholder attribute is set, then the user clears the when the user clears the field, the value will appear. So let's give place. Oh, okay, let's give a value is equal to okay. So let's just do this for now and then reload. So when we clear it, you see the placeholder is that's what you try to explain there. So I've given the value of fullness. If I reload, the value is back. And when I clear it, our placeholder will appear because I have a placeholder there. So if there's no placeholder, let me demonstrate that. If there's no placeholder, then it will so to be empty. So that's what that does. So I'm just Ctrl Z back. And refresher. There we go. So let's go forward. Let's go forward. Forward ever, backward never. HTML inputs. So we are continuing that and we have the type email now. Yeah, we're getting to the real thing. So this created using the tag, using tag type email and used for input fields that contain an email address. So it creates a validation for semantic correctness of the email before submission. So if we put type email, let's okay, we need to create an email then. Okay, so now I have a label and then this for email. So email and then we have in type text in oh I imagine I want to make example for email and I'm putting type email name email and placeholder your email. So I'm not gonna give that a value for so when we go back and reload see now I said it gives an additional validation. So now this does not require this does not recognize this as a valid email because there's no at. So if I try it again and I try to submit, you see, please include an at in the email address. That's so that is what it does. So it gives a validation for semantic correctness of the email before submission. So if it's not semantically correct, then I ain't submitting nothing. So let's go to type password. So it is created with the type password attribute and it makes all the data entered into to be masked in form of asterisks or dots for a field that holds a password. I don't know if maybe you are trying to sign up or sign in into an account somewhere. When you are typing your password, you discover that what it's not visible unless in some cases you can make it visible just to see if you are correct. But in most cases, when you start typing your password is in form of dots or asterisks. So that's what the type password does in our HTML document. So yeah, we're gonna go with let me just copy this and edit it. So this one will be label for password. This will be password, and then this will be type password. This will be this name will be password, and placeholder will be oh your password. So when we get there and we want to type in our password. Oh, I didn't put a BR tag. So let me quickly add that. Whew. So so your password, my password is blah, 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 blah. So you can see that's what the password attribute does by default. So as I told you earlier, these are very, very powerful attributes, which makes the input tag very special. So we have the type number. This is created with the type number attributes to make the input field accept only numbers. You can use it to set restrictions by placing a minimum and maximum value to be accepted. So yeah, okay, now we're creating age for age. So let's go back here and as I copied, so I shall copy here, and this will be for age, and this will be age, and this type number. Name is gonna be age. This is going to be your age. So right now I'm not yet putting the maximum and minimum values. So I just want to show you no BR tag. Let me quickly do that. Let's get back to business and then oh, I put the BR tag somewhere else, I think. Let me see. Oh, so it's meant to be year, it's meant to be year. So if I'm typing letters, as you can you see? But if I type numbers, it's gonna accept it. But if I type letters, or it accepts the E. So it also accepts the E tag, the E letter, because in mathematical notation, I think E stands for whatever it stands for, or E is used in mathematical notations. So that's the only letter it accepts. So in order to in real world applications, you have to use JavaScript to ensure that no form of letter. So there are different ways you can do validations in JavaScript. So, but for now, this is the basic part. So we're just gonna be using. Let's just assume that no letter is working. So it's our age. So now we want to put a minimum and a maximum number that should accept. Now, what is even the age that banks um what's the age that banks um set for power plans? So we just put a mean will be, let's say, 18. Now we're not we want youth in our company. So once you're 18, you're good to go. Less than that, you're not mature enough. And let's say the maximum is 30. We don't really want old people. We're a young company and we need young guys. So now if I put 78, ah, see, value must be less than or equal to 30. So this is a grandfather. So definitely can't be here. So we'll put 15. Value must be greater than or equal to 18. So those are adding extra validations those are adding validation to just basic validation to our input elements. So Now let me put sweet 23. So you can see it goes there. So that's the number tag for you. So we can also use the step attribute to identify intervals between two values. So it accepts input in accordance with the specified intervals. So let's say minimum, okay, let's try this too. So let's go back. Minimum is, let's say 10, and maximum is 100. And the step there is 10. So let's go back to our page, reload, and then put 15. See, this entire value. See, the nearest value values are 10 and 20. So it has to be an interval of 10. So step defines the interval between two consecutive numbers in our input type number. So that's what the step is for. So as you can see about that. So let's go forward and okay. Now we have type submit. Makes use of the type submit to submit data to a form handler. By default, in the absence of the value attribute, the field shows a submit button. If value attribute is included, then the input tag will take its value. So now, in our example, we're using the button to submit. So let's just say we want to use input type submit. So we say input I don't want to type input type submit. So then you give it a value of click here to submit. But for that, let's even cut this out and let's see. Now I said if there's no value there, it's going to give a default value of submit. Now you can see nothing changed because we've changed. We've actually this actually not this is an input type submit, so this is actually not a button, and you see it still does the same thing. So now if I give it a value, so by default, if there's no value on the input type submit, to write submit there. But if I give it a value, then you should definitely see something. Let me add the BR here to make it stay alone and underline. So reload, so click here to submit. I just give it the value of click here to submit. So let's go back to our page, our slide, sorry. Then we have the type required. The required attributes help with validation. Helps with validation. If the fields not filled, the validation fails and the browser would not submit the form. So for example, now, let's say this young man is trying to skip out on his age and he fills out everything. So, and I say age is required. Okay, then I go back here and the young man thinks he's smart. Okay, not me, sorry. This is my name here. Oops. Let's say this Tolu. Sorry for anybody that's bearing Tolu. I'm sure not the one. And then last name is Femi. Sorry for anyone that's bearing Femi too. And let's say Tolu Femi at gmail.com. And then your password. Okay. Blah 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 blah. And then your age. Please fill out this field. Now I'm using step. So okay. Although I'll actually remove that because definitely I'm not supposed to be using step for age. So click it submit. So it's required. So if I don't fill this, so I can also add required to others, and so if you don't fill any of them, then you must compulsorily fill all. So there are some times when you are trying to fill a form and maybe mistakenly or intentionally you skipped a field, and then they will show you something like you have to fill this field, and they will put a red asterisk and everything like that. So well, what they may not be using required, but that's something like what's required does. Sha. So it helps with validation. So in the real world, there still needs to be extra validation with JavaScript. Yeah. So whenever is the type attribute to change the characteristics of the input tag, you are limiting to the information type, and to accept any other type. The type attribute allows you to constrain fields to a specific format, just as you saw. Now, when we put type field, we couldn't type number, we couldn't type text there. When we put type age, then also you can't type this thing, sorry, type number also for the age. When we put type email, it's constrained to an email kind of, so you can't just type someone's name there with it will to flag you that you need to put a valid at to put a at sign to make this information valid in this field. So that is what the type attribute does. It constrains a field to a specific format. So the type text, well, as no, is the default type, so we can put any information in the type text. So let's go forward. The type button. So the type button attribute allows you to add buttons to the form of web page, which are not for submission purposes. They can be used to perform tasks with JavaScript programming. So let's do that. So let's go to this place, and then let's just use hmm, okay, input type button value is sorry, click me, click me, then say on click, then you alert, sorry, oops, this these guys are clashing. So I use this hello world. So let's go back. Oh, go back. Let me give it a BR2. So now let's go back to our web page and reload. Click me. So you see, this page says hello world. So that's what you can use the input type button for, but not for submission purpose. Not for submission purposes. So the type reset attribute allows you to clear information field on the form and reset. That is, reset all form value to their default value. So let me can input type reset input for reset here. You see the different kind of inputs we have. Value reset reset. So let's go to our page and let's see email city at gmail.com, your password and your age. 20, then you reset. So you see, it takes everything back to default value. That's what the set does. The type reset does. So let's go forward. The type radio attribute allows you to create a set of choices, but limits your selection to just one of them. Once you select one, the others will be disabled. So let me copy these. Okay, well, let's write it. Type radio name car value Ferrari. So let's just go to another field set automatically on its own. So let me copy this. Field set, and this one will be car choice. And this one will be for what label. And this would be like radio. So this would be type what radio. Let's just let's just let's just comment out this button, and so name will be Ferrari, and then placeholder. No, we don't placeholder here. So we don't place order here too. Okay. So um so this will be name car. This will be car. So our value here will be Ferrari. Our value here will be sorry, it will Bugatti. What's the spelling of Bugatti? Is that or this? Maybe it should be this. And our value will be Mercedes. So then we are going to have Ferrari. What's this is gonna be Bugatti, and this is gonna be Mercedes. So now let's say this one is checked. Okay. Now let's go to our browser, and then so you can see we have the car choice, and I put checked. So you can by default this one is checked, but you can change the choice. But if I reload the page, you see it's back to Bugatti. So that's just like value. Although those is not the same thing, but I'm just giving an analogy. So you can't choose multiple choices at once. You can't take multiple choices at once. You have to pick one, while the rest to be disabled. So that's what I meant. So this is it. So let's go back to our slides, and we have type checkbox. The type checkbox attribute allows you to create a set of choices and allows multiple choices, or even not at all. Yeah, it does. So instead of our